What's up guys, this is Pliskin Boy here. Today we got a top 10 video on PUBG guns. Now, a lot of these videos exist out there, but I've noticed that a lot of them just go for the guns that do the most amount of damage or have the most amount of range. So today, well, as per usual, I'm giving you a little bit of a different perspective. I want to look at guns that are useful in a variety of situations. Now, I'll be ranking them on their range, their damage, how customizable they are, and yeah, let's get right into it. So at number 10 we have the G8C. Now, it's as customizable as all the other pistols in the game. However, it really earns its number 10's place with its fire select. The fact that you can go from single to full auto, and the fact that this pistol has a decent range and damage due to the full auto option, makes it function like a miniature SMG. And the fact that you can carry this with two other weapons really makes it earn this spot. It's a very viable choice, and I'd recommend it as the secondary or pistol for everyone playing this game. Now at number 9 we have the only shotgun that's going to appear on this list. The SK-12 has very good range for a shotgun. It's the only shotgun that can take a suppressor and sight. It's also magazine fed, which means you can store a lot more ammo. So it has all the perks of a shotgun, but then also functions as a semi-automatic rifle. Because of this versatility, customization, and straight up damage it does, it earns its number 9 spot. At number 8 we're going to get our first assault rifle on the list. When I was making this list, I honestly expected the AKM to score higher because of its damage and accuracy. But its lack of customizability is the only thing really keeping it down here. Also, it is accurate, but there are other assault rifles that exceed its capabilities. At number 7, we have one of my favorite guns in the game, the SLR, which is a semi-automatic sniper rifle, but can also be doubled as an assault rifle because of its mid-range capabilities. Depending on the scope you put on this weapon, it can be very applicable for a lot of tight-knit scenarios. It's decently customizable, however, its handling can be a little bit awkward at times, and the recoil isn't preferable in tight situations. There are other semi-automatic rifles and assault rifles that are much more preferable to have in, say, a close-knit shootout in a bunch of buildings. However, at a decent range, this is definitely a good gun to have. At number 6 we have the M16. Now, I love the range on this rifle. It can almost function like a semi-automatic sniper rifle, or burst fire, whichever you prefer. However, unlike the SLR, it can be used not necessarily in close quarters, but functions better in mid-range. The reason it's this low on the list and not, say, number 5 or number 4 upwards is because of its lack of customizability. Still, this isn't a limiting weapon, and it's relatively easy to find. So if you're playing PUBG and you see this gun lying about, I definitely recommend to use it as a quasi-sniper. Number 5 was a very hard choice for me, as I really don't like the Mini 14. However, I can't deny its practicality in this game. It functions very well at close, mid, and long range. It's decently customizable, just as customizable as the M16. It's higher because of its capability of taking an 8x scope and because of the damage it does. Now, the only reason this rifle isn't higher is because it's limited by 5.56, unlike the number 4 spot. Now, I'll have to apologize since the mutant isn't available in the firing range. I'm just going to use some still images of it. It takes the number 4 spot because it combines what I love about the M16 and the Mini 14 and just adds 7.62 to it. It's highly customizable, has amazing range, and higher damage than the other guns. It's a very practical weapon, and I definitely recommend it. The number 3 spot goes to the H&K UMP. Now, this is a 9mm SMG that essentially functions like a miniature assault rifle. It has everything that I said about the G8C, except it has much further range, it's much more customizable, has single, burst, and fully automatic fire, so you can use it in a variety of situations. It's great for the beginning of the game, it's easy to find, and this gun is killer in the end game if you have a suppressor and a decent scope. So that's why it earns its number 3 spot. The HK416 takes the number 2 spot easily because it's like the UMP, except bigger. It's more customizable and can be whatever you want it to be. If you want it to function like an SMG, give it a red dot, put a compensator on the barrel, and you're good to go. If you want this thing to be a semi-automatic sniper rifle, switch it to semi-auto, get a decent suppressor, get a 4 to 6 times scope, and you're good to go. This gun will give any other gun in the game a run for its money, so I definitely recommend picking this up if you see it. The only reason it doesn't get the number 1 spot is because it's limited by its 5.56 ammo. Now before we get to our number 1 pick, let's go over a few guns, 3 actually, that didn't quite make the cut, but came really close. The first one coming in at a very close 11th place is the VSS. Now this is a already suppressed sniper rifle that's fully automatic, so you can double it as a miniature assault rifle. It's obviously almost made the cut because of its variety of uses and because of its practicality within the game's endgame. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it makes up for that because of its full auto option. Now, it didn't make it into this list simply because there are other guns that just do what it does much better. The AUG was in no way a 12th place weapon. Instead, it was a number 2 contender. Although its functions very similar to the HK416, because it's so much harder to find and because the HK416 is much more customizable, I decided not to include the AUG on this list on the grounds that the HK416 just exceeds it in practicality. However, this weapon should not be overlooked. I honestly take it to be the best weapon one can pick up from the drops, so if you get a drop, grab it, and it won't fail you. And for the last gun that didn't make the cut is our number 10 contender, the sawed-off double barrel, which is pretty much almost made the list for being a pocket shotgun. This weapon is very practical to have as a sidearm, especially if you're camped out somewhere. If you have all long-range weapons and your enemy just barges through the door, this is a great thing to have. Also, when you're playing in games with multiple people and you down an enemy, this is a great way to just whip something out really fast and put them down before their teammates have the time to either A, revive them, or take you down. So this would be a very strong 12th place. So there you have it. These were our honorable mentions, and now for the number 1 spot. The SKS easily takes the number 1 spot. It's like the SLR with better handling. Its range, its damage with 7.62, its high customizability rivals even the HK416 and UMP. If you pick this up in the beginning of the game, you're mowing everyone else down. If you have this in the end game, even if someone else has an AWM, if you see them first, they're going down. And that's why it's the number 1 pick. So there you have it, guys. I know a lot of people will be surprised that none of the guns from the drops made it here. I just don't find them very practical and they don't really function in a variety of situations. Although a case could be made for the AUG, I find that the main weapons in the game are much more applicable to a variety of situations and you're just so much more likely to grab them. And that's why I chose to include them. However, if you guys want to see a list talking about the weapons in the drops, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment below saying which gun is your favorite, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, as a final note, I know I've been posting a lot of PUBG lately. That's because I've been doing a little bit of traveling around. However, I am going to be posting some videos up with Far Cry 5, and I'm making another Metal Gear Solid 5 analysis, so you guys have that to look forward to. But yeah, stay tuned, feel free to subscribe, and as always, if you guys have any requests or any things you want me to go over, all those weird little questions that no other channels really answer, feel free to go right into the comments and ask. But yeah guys, I appreciate the understanding over the PUBG videos, and I wish you the best.